Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live. It is I, Nicola Moras, your very fabulous, noisy, loud, consistent, brave, I don't know, your host for our Coffee Run Live today. As you're coming on, please let me know that you can hear me and that this is being helpful to you and you know that you're good to roll. So today what we're talking about is positioning, and I thought that given that my book, so excited, my book should be going to print actually, I think my publisher said tomorrow, unless it's Friday. Not 100% sure on that, but I'm so excited. And I thought I would talk about positioning. So positioning is where you really, hi Dave, where you really set yourself up as a leader in your industry. So essentially, I guess, like, to me, I know that the word leader can kind of be a little bit ambiguous and stuff as well. And a lot of people equate leadership with tyranny, with, being, assuming that you're better than everybody else. And I think that's a really big, it's probably one of the biggest pushbacks that I've had from people around being seen as an expert, being seen as a leader, is because there's this perception that it's coming more from a place of ego and being like, you know what, I'm better than everybody else. And that's not at all what positioning is about. It's not what about really owning your position in the market is about. It's not what leadership is about, as you'd be aware. So to me, positioning is where you become really well known for something. It's where the conversations that you have all the time are consistent, that your message is consistent and things like that. For instance, if you're a musician, if you're a country music artist and you are, you're out there, you're promoting your latest album, most of the songs on there are probably going to be country stuff. And I mean, you might throw in a random pop song, but for the most part, it's going to follow a similar genre. It's going to follow the thing that the audience really knows you for. And then you can, when you release the next album, it tends to be in the same genre. And then you watch your next album and it tends to be in the same genre. And then that way people really start to see the consistency with what you're doing. Good morning, everybody. Let me know that you can hear me. I can see that there are a few of you on here this morning. Good morning, good day. So I think one of the things, thank you, Stacey. I'm actually interviewing a mentor of mine in about an hour. I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to share the interview with you. So feeling a bit more fabulous this morning. The thing with positioning is that it becomes very clear when somebody lands on your profile what you're about and what you do. They might not, hi Erna, that they might not know exactly how you do what you do, right? And it's interesting actually when I'll have some people that I know maybe like around town or that I've known on the internet, and they're like, oh, so what exactly do you do? I'm like, I help people with their visibility, their online marketing, their positioning so that they can make more money online. And they're like, oh, right, I get that. Okay, cool, that makes sense. Now I kind of get a little bit more about what you do. But the thing is that positioning helps you to create a very clear and consistent message online that really helps people, okay? So positioning these days, if we think about it, particularly at the moment, and really especially this year, everyone has had to make this, and I use the term loosely, but it's pretty much everyone. If you haven't been online, you've needed to get online because #COVID. So, everybody all of a sudden is fighting for their position in the spotlight. Everybody is fighting to be seen in the newsfeed. Everybody is fighting to be seen and heard and be bought from and everything else. So what positioning does for you is it actually helps you to really show up, to stand in your own spotlight and help people see you and hear you in a really clear and consistent way. So that's what positioning is. Positioning is the thing that will help you to cut through the noise. And I guess that raises the next question, which is, how the fuck do I do that? So the thing with this, I'm going to give you like the quick Cliff's Notes version for a Tuesday morning or a Monday evening if you're in the States or in the UK. So the Cliff's Notes versions of this are this. Number one, you need to know what it is that you are really standing for, right? You really need to know what it is that you're advocating for, what it is that you're really all about. The thing for me is that I know that you can show up in the way that you are, who you are, with all of the knowledge, the skills, the amazing things that are within you right now. You can turn up on the internet, you can show up, and I know that you can make money. I don't have a doubt in my body or in my mind that you can do that. So there's that. The second thing that you need to know is that you've got to know who your audience are and what makes them worry. Like, I know that a lot of you worry about how you're going to be able to sustain it, to sustain your business or grow your business if things keep being shut down. You know, there's things that people worry about the economy declining, about whether people are really going to be interested in learning this stuff when there's all of these other things going on. And I can tell you unequivocally that yes, people will still buy. Yes, you can still tap into the right people. Yes, you can still do what you do. And yes, it can be successful and you can still make a shit ton of money if that's really what you want to do. And you can still help a shit ton of people out there if that's really what you're driving towards as well. The third thing is as well, so we've got like knowing what makes you different. You've got to know who your audience is. And then it's about like one of the most underrated but so obvious things. And this is where you really need to show up consistently. Now, I'm talking, you guys, about making sure, like, because we're talking about positioning, right? So you have to show up consistently. And I mean, you've got to show up on a daily basis. The cost of being successful online is showing up every single day. You may not feel like it. You might, you know, I was thinking a few minutes before coming on live here, I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like doing my live stream today. I really want to top up my black coffee that I'm becoming, like my taste buds are becoming acclimated to. I'm feeling a little bit tired. I wasn't happy with the lighting. I haven't put makeup on yet. You know, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. All of these bullshit excuses. And I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? And, you know, what's going to be interesting for the people? And I had to really shift it from being, all right, all about, you know, me and all the bullshit going on in my head and go, well, actually, you know what do I really advocate for? And it's like you show up whether you fucking feel like it or not. You show up and you be of service and you do what you need to do. So I'm like, okay, cool. So if I'm doing that and if I'm showing up for you, for however many of you are going to watch live or watch the replay or listen to it in all of the platforms that the audio's on, whether it's iTunes or SoundCloud or Stitcher or wherever, it's kind of like if I can flick that, and this is what you need to do, you know, flick that to being more about you than it is about me. So for you, it's about making it about your audience instead of making it all about you. Then it helps you to get out of your own way. But the cost of success online is consistency. Sure as hell is persistence. And it's definitely about keeping the faith. You know, I wrote a blog the other day on Saturday, and it was a bit of an accidental blog. I don't always blog on the weekend, but when I do, it's good. And I think it was kind of curious, and it was, if you want to go back and read it, it's called Faith versus Belief. And the thing that I really kind of, and I was talking to my husband about it yesterday or last night when we were walking, it's like, you know, we don't always see the immediate payoff of what we're doing. Hey, Linda. We don't always see the immediate sales, the quick, you know, instant gratification. And I think we have been conditioned with a lot of the marketing, and I know I talk about it as well, you know, some of the amazing results, the fast results that people get just from showing up. You know, we've had an artist this last couple of weeks sell 2 pieces of art on through her page because of putting up posts that have nothing to do with her art. It's really, really interesting. So, you know, and I look at and that only took, I think, 30 days of consistently posting to achieve that result. But I think the thing that we forget is that, and I know that workouts are kind of positioned in a similar way, you know, diets are positioned in a similar way, where it's like, just add shakes and, you know, instant abs, or, you know, do the fasting thing, or the intermittent fasting, or go vegetarian, or go vegan, or go high protein meat, go keto, blah, blah, blah. You know, the thing that makes those things work for the people who have had great results is consistency, right? And following the plan. And this is where positioning won't work if you're not consistent. So positioning is where you show up on the internet, through your Facebook page, through your blogs, through your live streams, everywhere. Positioning is where you show up and you share your opinions, you share your expertise, and you solve a problem. So if we think about it, the majority of entrepreneurs that I know and that I work with, they've had moments where they're like, and you know, the leaders that I work with, they're like, oh my God, you know I need to leverage this stuff, Nicola. I know I need to do more stuff online, but I'm just so fucking busy, and you know, I don't know what to put up, and I don't know how to, you know, kind of like hit that next level and scale it and get to that next bit. And I'm like, dude, if you want to be seen as an industry leader, or a leader in your industry, and you want your audience to really identify with you as a leader in your industry, then you've got to show up more, right? You've got to share your opinions. You've got to share your thoughts, your insights, the way that you do things. You've got to be you. Otherwise, the risk that you run is that your audience will forget about you, right? And so, you know, I think that would be the almost like the worst thing. You know, if you're inconsistent, or if you're consistently only showing up once a month or once every couple of weeks, the chances of you actually cutting through the noise are, I don't know, 1,000,000 to 1. The chances of you being successful are probably also really, really low. The chances of you being seen, being heard, no matter how good your stuff is, it doesn't matter whether you think that you're born for it. It doesn't matter how big your hopes and dreams are. It doesn't matter how passionate you are about what you do. If you don't show up, and if you don't position yourself in a way that commands essentially the attention that you deserve, then people aren't going to remember you. And that's almost like a sin against God, you know, for want of a better phrase. It's just, you know, it's sacrilege. It's just insane. And we don't want your audience to forget about you. We need them to remember you. We need them to hear you as clear as a dog whistle can be heard by a dog, like that we can't hear it. But, you know, it needs to be so crystal clear and so laser focused that your audience's ears kind of go like, they prick up and they're like, what the fuck was that noise? Oh my God, I need to go and listen to this person. I need to listen to this woman. I need to listen to this man. I need to really be in their presence, and I've really got to learn from them, because if I don't, I'm screwed. And if I don't, then I'm going to go back and end up right back where I was. You know, the problem that I see today is that people kind of come out of the gates, all guns blazing, they go really hard for a couple of weeks, and then they get bored. Right? It's a fact. People get bored of their own voice. They get bored of their own content. I remember, you know, for a really long time, I've been promoting the book Visible for now 18 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I have to talk about Visible one more time, you know, but you know, you suck it up and you do what you need to do, right? Because there are so many people that haven't even heard of Visible, you know, my book that I wrote. There are so many people that haven't heard the concepts in there. There are so many people that just don't get it, that don't understand. And so it's a really important thing for them to see. So I get bored of my own stuff at times. Every person that I have spoken to, I'm writing Into the Spotlight, which, as I said, goes to print, I think, tomorrow or Friday this week. So excited. And, you know, I interviewed a ton of musicians. That's not true. I interviewed a handful of musicians, and I'm starting to interview some really successful entrepreneurs who are absolutely owning their spotlight, and I can't wait to share them with you. But the thing that they all say is that, you know, they all get bored with their own stuff, and you've got to find a way to flick that switch and go, all right, stop making it about me. I'm just about helping one person in the audience, just one person, and showing up for that one person. And you know what? You might not have a slew of comments coming through your feeds. You might not have a bunch of likes and shares and comments on your picture quotes or replies to your emails, or even yet maybe even sales on your stuff. But the thing that we know, for me, like I've been in this game for a decade, and I'm looking at some of the people who are still here, who were around when I was first starting, or, you know, started around a similar time. And there's only a handful of us, to be fair. And it's just kind of like, you know, what's the thing that has kept them going? And it's persistence, consistency, and no matter what is going on, whether you're bored with your stuff or not, it's about coming back to your purpose, coming back to your mission, your message, you know, why you're here, but also making it about the person, that one person in the audience, that one person on the other end of the live stream, that one person on the other end of a webinar, that one person on the other end of a Facebook post, that one person on the other end of the blog that really needs to hear what you're saying today. That's who you show up for. So really, you know, being bored with your own stuff is a really bullshit excuse. Sorry, that might sound a bit harsh, but you know, it's a fact of life. You know, sometimes you get bored playing the same game, but then you find another angle and you'll go again. You might be bored with the same types of conversations that you're having. Change it. If you're bored with your own stuff, find another angle, find a way of going, you know, who is this person? Maybe it's about, you know, finding a different way of communicating with your audience and with your niche. Maybe it's around choosing a different medium. Maybe you are doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, you know, in terms of your purpose work. Maybe you need to change up your audience. How can you shake shit up? Because the thing is, and I'll hammer it home again, the only way that positioning works is if you are consistent and if you're persistent. But for those two things to work and to produce a result, you've got to know who your audience is and what makes them stuck and how you can help them move. So the things that you can do today are, number one, know what makes you different. Number two, commit to showing up every single day online on your Facebook page or wherever you have an audience. I don't really care how big your audience is, because you can make thousands and thousands of dollars from an audience of like 200 or an audience of 20,000 or an audience of 200,000, right? The number of people following you doesn't actually make a difference. So what is it that you're going to show up and say? And maybe commit to not even maybe, but definitely commit to showing up every single day for the next 30 days and just see what happens. Share your opinions, share your insights, share your knowledge freely, openly, and willingly. Excuse me. Because what this does is it helps us to see you. It helps us to see the cat just moved and scared the shit out of me. It helps us to see your heart. It helps us to see your soul. It helps us to see your expertise. It helps us to hear you. And that's the thing that's really going to help cut through the noise. The other thing, if you're showing up every day and if you're posting every day and if you're doing a live stream every day, imagine how much faster people are going to be able to get to know you. You know, so much better. And if you're already showing up at least once a day, double it. You know, just do it twice a day. It doesn't take long. It might just even be for a few minutes. But push yourself out of your comfort zone. Position yourself as somebody who knows their shit, because I know that you do. And just make it happen, you guys. It's the world needs you. Particularly now, you know, more than ever in the state of disarray that everything is in. We really need people like you showing up, helping us to be motivated, to be inspired, to live our best lives, to get past our shit and everything else. You have to do it. So that is my advice for you on this fun Tuesday. I am going to love you and leave you, but just quickly before I do, the SOOOOOAR Collective even is, which is kind of like a soul collective, the SOOOOOAR Collective is open and ready for your enrollment pleasure. It's you and me and a group of complete badasses for the next 90 days doing everything that we've just been talking about. Crazily priced. It's insane. You can see the link in the comments actually when we went live in there. If you're listening on audio, head to my website, nicolamoras.com.au, and there is a big banner. You just click that and it will give you a little bit more information. In the meantime, I am going to love you and leave you and set you free about your day. Remember, all you need to do is get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it, you guys, and remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesome. I will talk to you really, really soon. Bye.